You know what? This is the perfect time to talk about money because I've got my Black Wall Street journalist. She's a former investment banker who left corporate America to found Kids Who Bank, and a really amazing organization that teaches financial literacy to children in 137 schools nationwide. Please say hello to the amazing Jatali B. What's going on?
Cheers, everyone. Cheers, everyone. Everything is
Cheers.
good. So, you're not going to get used to that, are you?
Cheers. Cheers. I like it.
So, all right. So, let's catch up. So, we've discussed weed, aka cannabis stocks, and
Episode
we've
one.
discussed
Yeah.
cryptocurrency
Okay.
on episode 2. So, today I want to tackle investing in the stock market. People
Mm.
seem to think you need $1,000, $2,000, $20,000, $1 million to invest in the stock market. And I'm here to tell you that is so not the case. You really, even if you have $50, can get started. And even
Really?
if you were to turn around, yes, really.
Well,
And people
somebody
just, I
told
don't know where they
me,
get this idea from.
yeah, someone told me, oh, you need at least 5 grand to invest in the stock market.
That is so not true. Case in point, I had a friend, she only had $100 to invest, and she went and purchased this stock called Square. Everyone knows Square, swipe, swipe, right? You see the commercials all day.
How long ago
And
was
she said
this?
she bought it last maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
So she didn't get a lot of shares of it. Okay. Maybe she got like 10. Okay. So when she was purchasing it, I was like, I told her specifically, when you're looking at stocks, purchase stocks that A, you see press releases about, or B, you have a feeling that's something that is always going to be around, or C, something that you feel as if you go to the store or if you go to this clothing you buy from this clothing label, who is the manufacturer who makes the clothing label? Who's a
Mm.
corporation that owns the store?
Hmm.
And if it's a place that you go to frequent, start with those places. You don't need like an insider's tip of, oh, this is the next hot thing. Look at what you use every day,
Mm.
the corporations that are making those things every day, and the little bits and pieces that make it functional, and look into them. Look to see if they have tickers online, aka stocks. Are they publicly traded so that you can purchase and invest in it? And if the price is low and it's something that you feel like is going to be around for a while, invest in it. And she said, you know what? Every time I go to like an event, I notice that everyone utilizing Square is something Square and something that I can invest in. And I said, that's an amazing idea. And I said, actually, I invest in Square.
Mm.
And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, from when? I was like, for a very long time. And she was like,
Wow.
I'm going to go buy 10. And then with that 10, your investment, the more you put, of course, depending what it is, sometimes the bigger your investment, your profit will be, right? But even if you're making a profit of $200 on your 100 that you put in, that's still doubling your money. Or even if you make a profit of $50, you still made a lot of money off of something that if you put it in the bank and you just had $100 in the bank, you might make like what, 10 cents on that $100?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nothing.
So when you think about it, basically you're making nothing if you just leave it in the bank. So you should have a certain portion or a budget that you use for, investing in stocks and things of that nature.
Okay,
So
so
that was her journey. That's how she started.
so I'm ready to invest. All right. I have $100, a few
Hmm.
$100. What do I do? I call you.
Well,
I Who do I
you,
call? A
you,
financial advisor? I say, Jatali.
I think that's honestly, I'm going to say this. I don't want to shoot myself, and I hope no one gets mad at me. But I think that's the wrong step that a lot of people do. The first thing they do is try to find like a financial advisor to give them, who will charge them a fee, and then, to try to figure out how to invest $300 or $400. If you have a smaller amount of money to invest in, honestly, in this era, I must be very brutally honest, YouTube itself and the internet has so many different websites and places that you can visit or people you can check out to learn about it. If you just literally Google, learn about the stock market or how to invest in penny stocks or whatever, just to get your feet wet, there are so many options online. So
Mm.
I think that honestly, I personally tell people that the first place to start is like looking up books like Tony Robbins, right? He writes a lot of financial stock tip books. He has written a lot of books. You can't take everything he say to heart, but he gives a lot of valid pointers and a lot of valid tips as to how you can get started in stock market. As well, there's you can look at Kramer. Kramer is a guy, if you Google his name on YouTube, he has a lots of videos. He has this thing called Mad Money, and he
Mhm.
talks about he specifically will tell you stocks that he thinks are about to blow up and where you should invest your money and things of that nature.
Mhm.
And then so he's one of my favorites because if you can get through his rambling, every so often he says something that is a jewel, something that would really be like, oh, snaps, let me go look into that. Stock, let me go look into this, let me go look into that. So people like himself are very important to listen to. And then as well, you can look at a platform like Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, I've mentioned him, I think,
You did
last time,
last
the
week, yeah.
cryptocurrencies. Yes, and I will mention him, Charles Schwab platform again, because it's honestly a really good platform to learn because they have professionals who will literally help you over the phone.
Okay, so
So,
so I,
you
I've
know,
I've got my I've watched Mad Money, which I have watched. I like him. He's animated.
me
He's
too.
like, and then I'm like, whoa. And so I've done that and I've read my books. Okay, what do I do next?
Next thing I would say is download if you want to. You have the option of using a platform that is free. One of the ones that right now is making a lot of buzz is Robinhood because Robinhood allows you to purchase the stocks um, without paying, without having a license and without, so a lot of the risk is kind of taken off of your shoulders, so it's a security blanket for certain people. So you can do that, or you can use Seeking Alpha, or depending how advanced you think you can catch on, Ameritrade, right? And these platforms, like Ameritrade, for instance, have personal like people who can help you, phone tutorials, like to teach you how to do options trading, stocks, bonds, everything. And you basically utilize that. That's your next step. Your next step is finding a platform you're comfortable with and playing with it a little bit, looking at how it shows you the stock market. How does it show you which apps or what price they are at, and create a list of apps or companies that you would be interested in. Rather, it's a company that makes the buttons you wear every day in your clothing, or if it's a shoe company like Nike because you love Nikes, or if it's Whole Foods because you purchase your food, or Trader Joe's because you purchase your food from there. And then when you find the things that you're most interested in, go on internet and Google how much does right now is Whole Foods on the market? How much is Nike on the market? And if it's within your price range, go onto that app and purchase your first share.
Okay, so
It's that simple. Just jump right in.
just jump right in. Just jump right in. Just do it. So I want to do it. I want to know what to invest in. If you could invest in something today, I don't know if you have. I don't know how often you invest. What would you be invested in today? What do you suggest?
Like for me, American Express, because I feel like American Express has been doing a lot of amazing things as far as what's coming up as a new wave. So we discussed cryptocurrencies, right? And I noticed that they've been purchasing, you know, um, stocks in other companies and corporations that are pushing and running in AIs that are running cryptocurrency. So a company like that, I personally do. But once again, that's my luck. And if you have a smaller budget, once again, you can look at Square and other corporations that, like Walgreens. I mean, not Walgreens, Walmart. I like Walmart.
I don't like
That's
Walmart. No,
something
they're
that
too corporate and they're
as
they're
as
they're,
far as the
they're too
stock,
Republican.
as far
No.
as the stock, as far as
Mm.
the stock. And that's another thing. I must say, like,
What?
sometimes you might not want to look at a company just because it's a company that you personally like. Maybe it's a company that you know is just going to do well. And when you reach a certain ticker level, like let's say you put in $25 and you said, when I make a profit of $75 on the 25 that I've invested, I'm going to pull my money out. That's an option too. Um, you know, you have to pay and be cognizant of what's happening in the news. So if you notice, for instance, that right now Trump is taking these children from their parents, what corporations are doing anything to try to stop this, right? So
Mm.
then you'll look at those corporations and you'll invest in a corporation that might be helping to stop the problem that you feel like is going to be something that's going to be on the forefront of everyone's mind.
Interesting.
The woman who just climbed the Statue of Liberty, for instance, due to that situation, then if you notice that she might pay attention to the news. If you notice the company's about to endorse her, like let's say Under Armour, then I might go invest in the Under Armour stock, just
Smart.
because now I notice that, hey, they're about to probably get a lot of press and they're about to get a lot of love. It's kind of like a movement. If there's a movement, let's say LeBron James, for instance.
Yeah.
LeBron James invested stocks in a football company in the UK. When I saw that, I ran and I invested in that particular stock too, because I knew him as an athlete. He wasn't going to just use his money, but he would use his brand and who he is to propel that football league to do better. So then when he made his profit and then some, I made a profit too, just because I was paying attention to the news. And I remembered reading that, hey, they said that he purchased stocks in this soccer league. And for me, I love soccer. So I'm looking at the news and I see that LeBron James, a basketball player, purchased stock in this particular field, which is
Mm.
not even his sport. I'm like, oh, who did he invest in? And it was to me like a no-brainer. Like, well, I know he's going to use a celebrity. Same way there was another basketball player who purchased pizza. I'm just using basketball for an example. But, there was this bloke, he purchased a pizza chain.
Hmm.
The minute he purchased a pizza chain, I don't care if it's Pizza Hut and I think Pizza Hut tastes nasty. I'm not saying I really do, disclaimer, but I'm just saying, even if I thought it tasted nasty, right? I'm going to go buy Pizza Hut stocks though, because I know they're about to blow up. So
Mm.
certain things, let's say maybe if I don't believe in abortion, I might not buy stocks in Planned Parenthood, right? But at that same point, sometimes if it's not morally gonna mess with you, why not? You know. So, and to give you an example, my one of my nephews, when Trump was about to become president, he was like, "Oh, I want to invest in something," and I told him, "Okay, well, since you're young, let's do penny stocks." And penny stocks usually are like 29 cents, could be $1, it could be $1.19. They're very low on the ticker. And I told him, put $100. He had $200 to invest. And I said, put $100 on a stock that would do well if Hillary Clinton became president, and put $100 on a stock that would do well if Trump became president. And
Mm.
long story short, he picked fracking company. So
Wow.
I don't fracking. And he was like, well, I feel a little bit bad because fracking is bad. And I was like, but the rich are not looking at what's going to be bad, right? The rich are looking at what is going to make them money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
I
you want to
mean,
put on it,
I hear
it's a
what you.
fine line, I know.
Listen, I know it's
But
all. It's
I
about
knew
the
they were
money.
going
It's
to make
about the
money.
green. But Jatali, you were on the Progressive Community Show, and money is power. And if we invest in the same things that these white supremacists and these people that are working to tear down a community to invest in, then it makes us no better than them. It can't just always be
It's
about the
true.
money,
But
Jatali.
I fully agree. And that's why me personally, I go a little bit harder about what I invest in. And once again, like for me personally, I don't believe in the whole Planned Parenthood and what I feel like is done to the community of color. So even when I was told, hey, Planned Parenthood, blah, 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 they're about to expand a few years back, of course, me knowing this in advance, I was like, oh, but I was like, you know what, morally, I can't go for that. I
Okay.
couldn't support that. And I didn't want to invest my coins in that. But it's just, once again, an example of sometimes you can choose where are your limits, right? You pick what your line is and you draw your line. And that's in anything in life, in business, in investing, you should draw your line. In
Mm.
the same way, when you draw your line, when you invest in a stock, you need to know what your pullout amount is. So don't just invest your money and then leave it in there, because everyone has been discussing in the financial world, in my financial circles, they've been discussing that we're due for a crash.
Oh
So if we're
man.
due for a crash, then what happens if the market crashes and you have all your money in that market? Or what if you had a $10,000 profit, and because you didn't pull out a certain amount of money, now you just made zero and you lost what you invested?
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
So I tell people, have a market cap. So let's say you invested $200 or you invested $2,000, and your goal was to make a profit of 10,000. And when you hit that 10,000, pull out, have a pull out amount. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to pull out 5,000 out of that 10,000. Once I hit 10,000, I'm going to leave 5,000 in. And maybe you'll diversify and take 3,000 or 1,000 out of that and invest it in another stock that you think might do well, right? And you should always use your investing money to continually invest. So as we wrap this up, I just really want people to think outside of the box, read books. Tony Robbins is a good start. Kramer's Mad Money is a good start. Look into faulty and vaulty indexes. Options trading over the phone tutorials from Ameritrade are amazing. Charles Schwab does a lot of tutorials and video tutorials. Take some classes that are free around the city.
Twice, we're only 3 shows, and you've talked about the stock market being due to crash. For the next episode, can we talk about what to do if the stock market crashes and how to prepare for that and protect your money? Because even knowing that, you should still not stop investing, correct?
Yes.
All right.
You shouldn't diversify your portfolio. So
all right. Wait. We'll save it for next week. All right, because we can talk about this for a while. Yeah, Jatali B, the amazing Black Wall Street journalist, just always just empowering our minds and having us think about how to build generational wealth and how to build ourselves up and our families and our community. Jatali, where can they email you or go to your website and get more information?
So you can go to my website, www.kidswhobank.com, or you can go email me, info@kidswhobank.com, or follow me on social media, Instagram. And if you send me a message, 9 out of 10 times, I will respond quickly. So once again, everything is Kids Who Bank.
Kids Who Bank. Thanks, Jatali.